I'm going to voice over the original audio so I can get to the point. This video will show how I rewired some disconnected lights and changed out and wired the right side glove box of my Honda ST1300 with some USB ports and a lighter port. Big shout out to my brother Steve in Arizona. He bought this bike at a police auction. He repaired it and he gave it to me. So thanks a lot, Steve. So here's the old glove box. You can see the CB mic handle there. You open it up. It had these types of cross type with the lighter in there. You can see there was a hole for one in the back of the box, and then they put one here on the outside. But I didn't want these lighter types anymore, so I wanted to switch that out. So I purchased this replacement box, I think on RevMoto or some kind of thing. I don't do a search online. It was 21 bucks. So as you can see, I bought this dual port. One has 3 USB ports, and the other one is a straight lighter port. I could hook something else into that if I wanted to. So it came with a faceplate that I had to modify, basically cut to make it smaller so it would fit in this space. You can see the cutting there. It had 4 holes for screws, but you don't need it because these sockets are held in place by a screw-on grommet in the back here. Both of them. They come with nice wiring. So you just hook those wires up, hook them up to your power source, and it should be ready to go. I think this one lights up as well, has a LED light in it. Obviously I'm going to have to replace this cover and put it on the new one, but that shouldn't be a problem. So basically I cut all those things with a Dremel with that kind of quick release cutter on it. Drill the holes with this kind of drill bit, hole drill bit. Luckily I had one that was about the exact size. If it's too big, it's okay because it gets covered by the faceplate. And you just have to keep whittling at it and working at it. I did have to, I probably, if I'd done a better job, I'd push that plate down a little bit further, but if it's angled, so it's difficult. But I had to modify right here a little bit by cutting out a little bit so that that screw circle would fit on there. It's not going to affect the overall functionality of the box. That'll be covered by this. So hopefully it will. Okay, so now you've seen it all attached. I'm going to go take the stuff off the bike and we'll start again from there. So here's the ST1300, a little bit deconstructed. I took the front windshield and display and everything off so I could get to the wiring to some police lights. They were up front there. You can't quite see them, they're beyond that thing, but I got those to work. And to wire that underneath this back saddlebag, I placed a fuse box, distribution fuse box thing. So I'm going to remove this saddlebag and then I'll show you. To remove the saddlebag, in case anybody's wondering, it might be different on your bike if you have one of these, but there's these hex bolts on each side, and then inside there's those 2 bolts right there. Obviously I've been storing all my bolts as I'm taking this bike apart inside this thing. So I'm going to take that off and then I'll show you what's underneath. So here is that saddle bag, or back bag, I don't know what you guys call it, with all the other bones of the bike that's taken apart. There's the front for the windshield. The windshield's underneath there. That's the whole side fairing up at the front there. So anyway, I installed this fuse box. And just so you know, that whole front fairing, the side has to come off so you can get that glove box off. There's the left side glove box. So here's that box opened up. There's the 6 circuits. You have positive, negative wire. You can have it switched or unswitched. Again, this is made by Fusebox with a Z. You just, up here, you hook in positive and negative, and then a switched wire. The switch wire completes the circuit once the switch is turned on and gives power to that wire. Then it opens the circuit for the other 2 wires to give power to the board. At least that's what it said when I bought it. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to remove the seat here to get the wiring out of the way. So I just have to remove that bolt, and then once that bolt is gone, you just lift the seat out. So I'm going to take that bolt off. Now that bolt's gone, you just lift the seat up and it slides out to show that. Just put it up there for now. So I'm going to send this video to my brother. He's always telling me, stop doing all that crap, just ride the bike. So he's always giving me shit about it, but he gave me these bikes, so I'm really thankful. Thanks, Steve. Alright, so now I'm going to wire the box. I'm going to get a couple wires here, get them underneath there out to the front so I can wire it once I put it all back together. So to get the wires underneath here, I'm going to have to lift up the tank too. So there's these 2 bolts here. They're easy to remove, but you got to be careful. Don't drop them or they'll fall into the motorcycle abyss and you might not find them for a while. So you can see this is an old cop bike. They have a place here to write tickets or to doodle while bored.
I want mine. Yeah, right, man. I mean, there are a lot of facets to this, a lot of interested parties. Excuse me. Yeah. Yeah. Where's that? Excuse me.
Those, and then I'll show you how you move the tank back and lift it up so you can get underneath it. So you see how the tank is on this track as well, so I'm going to slide that back and it gives the tank room at the front to lift up and past the handlebars. So now you can see that it's all the way back in that track. It might be hard, but it went from the front to the back of that track, and now you can see the tank is lifted up. It's resting on my handlebar there. They have some kind of metal resters you can get, but this does fine for me. Allows me access back into there. You can see my previous wiring. So I'm going to slide the wires through there so they come up into this area where the box goes. You can see the other box over there. So it will, come somewhere around here in this area. I'm going to get the wires to come through there and then I can hook it up once I put it on. So this is the fairing and the cowl from the right side of the bike that I took off. Now I'm going to attach the new glove box on the inside. It goes right here. We're going to attach it to this these bolts right here. There's one underneath here. So I'll show you once it's installed. So here's the new glove box installed. There were 4 screws. So 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one's kind of underneath this flange right there. But you can't do this once the fairing is installed. It's too hard to get to the screw, so you have to put this on before you take the hole, or before you put the fairing. Before you put the fairing back on the bike. So that's what it looks like. There's the wiring for the new USB ports and lighter port. So I'm going to go reinstall it, and I'll show you what it looks like after it's done. Hey guys, so got all the fairings back on. Ran into a little bit of a problem. So the box was already attached, like I said. So when these were sticking out the back, one of the posts got bent and the female part wouldn't come off, and when I took it off, the wire came unattached. That's why you see that different one right there, that blue, dark blue one, or solid blue one. I had to rewire, not rewire, but just crimp that on. So it's best to remove these from the glove box, insert the fairing and reattach it, and then you can reattach these after that's all done. But I wanted to check to make sure that they still worked. So the 2 things I did were these lights here. I can see the wiring for them, but no harness. So I rewired those in the front down there. So they work now. And then this is the USB port. It has a button here for a LED light. You can see that's on now. So I showed you guys the fuse box that's switched on. So when I turn the motorcycle off with the switch, these should both go off. And they do. That's off. These lights are off. So now I'm going to reinstall that into the box. Screw these circular nuts, if you will, and put everything else back together. Okay, so here it is installed. This door didn't come with the glove box, so I had to remove that and replace that from the other box. Also, this latch right here was from the other box, so I had to put that in. I had to modify the box a little bit here because I wish I had installed these lower down. Maybe not use that faceplate that's there. I don't know that that's so necessary, since you can screw them on from the back, and then I wouldn't have to modify the box. I also had to modify this hinge right here. You can see it's kind of cut out right there because when it closed, it hit of this screw in, and I'm out of focus. There it goes. Hit on that round part of the screw in, so I had to kind of modify it so it would shut completely. So now it's installed. I'm going to check it again. I'm going to turn the bike on. Front lights are on that I wired. Then we'll push the button here. Helps if you attach the wire harness, and there we go, the blue lights. So it's all installed. Now I just have to put the front analog display and the windshield back on, and the rear view mirror covers and blinkers, and should be good to go.